Hi and welcome back. This is video number 2 in a series of studies on the Milner-Barry gambit of the French defense advanced variation. This is Blue Moon number 2. After e4, e6, d4, d5, e5 the advanced variation, c5 by black hitting the base of that pawn chain, and c3 strengthening the chain. Knight c6, knight f3 and queen b6 all seen before. Bishop d3, and now after bishop d7 black is eyeing up that juicy pawn on d4, and the Milner-Barry gambit allows black to capture. So after c takes, knight takes d4 and queen takes d4, white plays knight c3. In a previous variation, a previous video, we explored queen takes e5 now. But here black tries knight e7, developing the pieces as quick as possible. But that runs into this move by white, knight b5, hitting the queen, and obviously not now bishop takes on b5, because that would allow the same type of trap we saw in the poison chalice. Bishop takes on b5, and that's hitting the king, check, and hitting the queen as well. White will be winning. So after knight b5, and that knight, we should say, is heading as well for c7, check rook, and knight d6 in some lines. So the only move that black has available is queen takes the pawn on e5. Now that allows rook e8 hitting the queen. The queen has to keep c7 and d6 in its sights, so the only move really is queen to b8. White continues developing, and a very logical move here is queen f3, simply securing the f4 square for the bishop on c1, who's going to join the offensive next move. What does black play here? Well, if black moves the knight from e7, that will allow queen takes on d5, since the pawn on e6 will be pinned. So black tries what appears to be a logical move, f6, planning to meet bishop f4 with the move e5. But here white has a great resource. Instead of bishop f4, rook takes on e6. Well, after bishop takes rook, now bishop f4 hits the queen. The queen doesn't really have too many flight squares. Let's have a look at some of them. If now queen to c8, well, that immediately allows knight d6 check. That's picking up the queen. So let's back up. After bishop f4, if black tries queen to d8, well, that will allow bishop c7 hitting the queen again. Queen d7, and now knight d6 check means black has to give up the queen in order to stay in the game, but it's game over. So this has been the Blue Moon trap number 2 in the Milner-Barry gambit of the French defense advanced variation. Hope you found it informative, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.